Hello everyone, X-Wall-Kill Bethelite here. And I always thought it was funny when a governing body member would call someone who was a former Jehovah's Witness mentally diseased. We all know the context of it, where Jehovah's Witnesses call people who have left a name. They call them apostates. They put a title on people who left their church. So obviously these are people who hold grudges, but nonetheless, obviously that's not Christian, but nonetheless, it's interesting that people who have left Jehovah's Witnesses, the governing body, has pointed out that some of them are mentally diseased. The problem here is that the governing body doesn't point out that people who are members are mentally diseased. Mental health is what we need to talk about, because a person doesn't just up and become mentally unhealthy because they left a church. That mental state was with them while they were in, and very well, most likely, is with them when they left. And mental health is a serious concern because Jehovah's Witnesses try to mask it. Jehovah's Witnesses try to, they're all inclusive. So in other words, people coming in off the street, whoever will accept a watchtower, will bring you on in. We will give you a title. We will give you responsibilities. The people who have mental health issues that join this organization, reading watchtowers isn't a way of healing that. They're still mentally ill. Raising your hand to comment does not fix mental illness. Knocking on doors, passing out magazines does not fix mental illness. Getting up on a platform and basically regurgitating what you were told to say in a talk is not a fix for mental illness. So the governing body member touched on something, but he didn't touch on the core issue, and that is mental health is a real concern. It is a real concern, not just to members of any one particular church, but for society as a whole. And mental health is something that needs to be directly worked on for a person to get better. The problem with Jehovah's Witnesses is they're one all-inclusive. They'll bring in all the pedophiles. They'll bring in all the people who are mentally sick. They'll bring in anybody into their churches they can get. And then when they bring them in, instead of being honest with them and telling them, okay, yeah, you need to see a psychiatrist or you need to get some mental health, you need to get that taken care of, they mask it. They cover it up. They give the person that had that mental health issue a title. Now this person is a ministerial servant. Now this person that's mentally ill or just not all there in the head is now called a pioneer. So now the person doesn't realize that they have something that they need to work on. The Jehovah's Witness doesn't realize that they have something they need to work on. And we all knew someone at the hall, if not multiple people at the hall, that were not all there in the head. Just be honest. We're getting these people off the street. We're walking around downtown, handing out magazines, and we're bringing in whoever in the world would let us in their house. Those don't tend to be the smartest people in the world. Those don't tend to be the people that are mentally sane. So we're bringing all these people into the Kingdom Hall. And how do we handle the mental illness? We don't handle it. We just make the person think that just being a Jehovah's Witness is a fix to mental illness. Just get baptized. Bam. Go to the hall. Bam. That's all you need. That's your fix for your mental illness. You got people that have all types of mental health concern. Just like the body can be sick, the mind can be sick. You've heard of bipolar disorder. You've heard of all these other disorders. These are real things that people have. And a Jehovah's Witness will get medicine if they have a cold. They'll get medicine if they have the flu. But with mental health concerns, not only do they not get help, but they're not encouraged to get help. And so the governing body member was being very dishonest when he said people who leave have mental diseases. People who are I'll be honest with you. I'm not a lying governing body member. I will be honest with you. People who are in the Organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, some of them have mental health issues, and people who are out, some of them have mental health issues, and people who are all throughout society have mental health issues. The point is, all those people working towards getting help, all those people working towards making progress, or all those people masking their mental health as, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, so there's nothing wrong with me. Why? Just because I'm a Jehovah's Witness, that just makes it to where there's nothing wrong with me now. I gave a comment. I raised my hand. I knocked on doors out in field service. So now I'm exemplary. I have nothing else I need to work on. Or then people's mental health issues get worse. And you add to it, this is a doomsday cult talking about the end of the world is possibly coming tomorrow, or more than likely coming tomorrow. And it's just not a good environment for people that have mental health issues to be in. From years ago, if I can recall, would always say that it is okay to get help if you have mental health issues. It's not something that to be worried about or being ashamed about. Everybody has illnesses, some of them physical, some of them mental. I was just getting over a cold yesterday and today. Mental illness, I don't think is something you need to be ashamed of any more than me having that cold that I had to get medicine for. I had to rest. I had to work on getting myself back to health. The same thing with mental illness. I don't think it's something to be ashamed of, but I don't think it's something that needs to be masked. We all came out of a religion where people thought their mental illness just disappeared because they got baptized as a Jehovah's Witness. They didn't need to go get any more help. They didn't need anything else. Their mental health problems just disappeared. No, it didn't. People that are no longer members of the Jehovah's Witnesses, that is good. That's a positive step. But the mental health concerns are still there. A person who is a Jehovah's Witness, that didn't make the mental health disappear. The title Jehovah's Witness does not make mental health problems disappear. The term ex-Jehovah's Witness doesn't make mental health problems disappear. The XJW community isn't the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's not somewhere for people that just have all kinds of mental health issues to just go, and that's a title that makes them normal now. if you have mental health, just stating I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and now you all have to just accept me as part of this community as if nothing were wrong with a person's mental state is not accurate. I think people who have been part of XJW groups, whether it be online, Facebook, what have you, you've all run across a person who, or meetups, you've all run across a person that just didn't seem to be all there. Now that is something that is actually normal. I mean, that's something that you'll see in society in general. There's varying degrees of mental health that people have. That's normal. The thing that is not normal is using a title as an excuse to feel people should just accept you without you doing any work towards trying to become healthy mentally. So just like Jehovah's Witnesses, as long as you were Jehovah's Witness, they would just ignore your mental health issues. I don't think that's something that with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses is just a group you join and people just ignore your mental health issue. I think it's something that we shouldn't mask it. We shouldn't hide it. You know, what is an ex-Jehovah's Witness? It's just a person that used to be a Jehovah's Witness. It's not another church. It's not another excuse to feel superior to people. You know what I mean? So essentially what I'm referring to is Jehovah's Witnesses, the problem there, people with all kinds of mental health issues forming judicial committees trying to judge other people. And they have no qualifications, they have no authority, and a lot of them aren't mentally competent to be doing what they're doing. Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, you have the same thing. You have people who are attempting to form judicial committees who do not have the authority, do not have the qualifications, and do not have the mental competency to do so. The thing about it is, I think that type of activity, whether it be in the Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, wherever, would just follow the person around until they finally decide to get help mentally, to get help. Now, again, a person leaving Watchtower has a lot of freedom. A person leaving Watchtower has the freedom to get help, mental help, any mental help they want, read any self-help book that they want. They have the freedom to choose any course that they want with their life. They have the freedom to not get mental health. They have that freedom to do that. They have the freedom to be crazy and feel like they're elders or something, and they have the authority to judge other people. I mean, I don't. It just is what it is. But I would prefer a person, now that they have that freedom, now that they have the freedom to do what they want without judgment, instead of bringing Watchtower outside of Watchtower and trying to bring it into the XJW community, as far as people that are mentally not all there, trying to form judicial committees and trying to shun other people and just being insane, use that freedom to get mental help, get mental health help. There's a number of different avenues and options a person has. Some people have insurance that will cover a lot of things like therapy. Some people there, through the job that they have, you actually have access to someone to talk to for free. I have friends who are former Jehovah's Witnesses that have gotten therapy. They've sat and talked to someone and they felt it did wonders. I've only heard good things about people who have gotten the mental health, people that have gotten therapy. Because we want people to live a full life. And to live a full life, you want to be as healthy as possible, not just physically, but mentally. So if you have Jehovah's Witnesses suffering from people with mental health issues, being given titles and feeling superior to others and judging and doing all kinds of things that they really ought not be doing, they really ought to be working on their mental health. Old Tony Tight Pants, whatever issues he's got going on in his head, all that liquor that he got from the store is not going to fix it. Being a Jehovah's Witness is not going to fix it. The title Jehovah's Witness doesn't fix it, even though that title makes people feel like they got to just accept you however you are. It's the same when a person leaves. The title ex-Jehovah's Witness isn't a title meaning I get to just run rampant and everyone should accept me and everyone should listen. Regardless of obvious mental health. It's obvious. It's obvious. I mean, you can look at some of the groups, you can look at some of the things that are said. It's obvious sometimes when a person isn't all there, but I don't think any community is a hiding place from mental health. The issues that come from mental health will surface regardless of whether you're a Jehovah's Witness or whether you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness or whether you're a Mormon or whether you're an ex-Mormon or whether you're any religion or whether you're an ex-member of that religion. The same issues that mental health concerns cause in those cults or religions, it will cause the same havoc outside of it if a person doesn't take strides to get help. And the problem with the Jehovah's Witnesses is far from getting help. The people that have all these mental health issues, they try to lord it over other people. Last thing a person with mental health issues need to be concerned about is with other people. And it's like identical when you look at inside the organization and outside. It's the same monster. It's mental health. It's the person that has these mental health issues feeling like they need to be concerned and judging any and everybody and everything else, aside from working towards their own well-being and welfare. I've seen where there have been people threatening other people. I mean, online. Like, it's just ridiculous. I mean, these are grown adults. But I mean, the thing is we got to pay attention to the mental health. We got to pay attention to mental health. So, we don't want people leaving Watchtower and trying to get away from people trying to control their lives, and the people trying to control their lives aren't all there in their own head, to come into a community of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses where you have any of the same thing. You don't want any of the same thing. You don't want people that are just not there mentally trying to control other people, or trying to harass other people, or trying to create a cult for themselves. I mean, this is just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're going to have the same cycle. The same thing is going to happen until that person gets mental health, until that person gets therapy, until that person gets medication. There's some medications that will balance out a person so that they can lead a very rewarding life. And there's nothing wrong with that. So a person who has left Watchtower, the title ex-Jehovah's Witness doesn't mean you don't need to get mental health. Joining a Facebook group or a Reddit group or doing things online, that's not a substitute for working towards your mental health. It's something that is going to have to be worked on eventually. Otherwise, you will just have insanity, pure insanity online, invisible for all to see. I think they had a group on Facebook, a fairly large group, and I think they took it down because of it. And I don't know that it was all mental health issues, but you just see a pattern of people who are just not right in the head, not getting help. They're not working towards mental health. They're working towards just trying to repeat what they saw in Watchtower. So you comment down below. Let me know what you think. I mean, it's not just me. There are a number of people who are former Jehovah's Witnesses that have noticed the same thing. And that is, you know, the people who are just not all there. And they're just getting on, I guess, the computer, and the computer supposedly is just supposed to mask their mental health. The computer, they get on the computer, and they now have the authority to judge other people, and you know, we just need to focus on people being healthy mentally, and you know, a person can do activism, and that's good. But an activist is an activist. An activist is a person that's, I mean, you know, you go out and you do things. But even an activist isn't necessarily a person who now just has this authority to just judge other people and try to, my idea is right, your idea is wrong, I'm in a position to judge you. All that stuff is coming from Watchtower. That stuff needs to stay in Watchtower. I think I've heard bad things about virtually every ex-Jehovah's Witness activist there is. Like any big name, you know, any activist that a lot of people know about, some random person came out, and I don't know how they even know the person or what have you, and just starts judging the person's whole life. Like they just start telling me the whole person's whole life, and I'm like, where are you getting this from? Like where are you hearing this from? And why is this a concern? You know what I mean? You know, how are you judging somebody who isn't even in the same state as you? Like, I'm telling you, it's just one of those things where we don't want. Watchtower needs to stay in Watchtower. It's good that anybody leaving is good. People with mental health issues that are in Watchtower leaving Watchtower is good. But they still need to get help for the mental health issues and not try to bring that stuff outside of Watchtower and just have pure insanity going on online in some of these groups. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. X Walk Hill Bethelite signing out.